Well, this is a walkabout at Historicon 2024 on Friday. Right now, you're viewing the Battle of Bunker Hill in 15mm by Jim McLaughlin, and he runs some phenomenal games using British Grenadier rules. And you can see it's almost like you're looking at a museum diorama. And there's Jim there in his white shirt, black stripe, waving to us. And of course, this video I've had to make with an audio dub over due to the amount of noise that is in the Great Hall at Historicon. So here we have World War I airplanes, and these are a huge hit with a lot of war gamers. Really easy to play. A lot of youngins playing this game, and it's a great husband and wife game also. And then here we have some footage again of the great Jim Perky's Gettysburg's Pickett's charge in stunning 54mm, and this game is just something to be seen. 3 tables, 20 feet long each, 6 feet wide, and up to 14 to 15 players are playing. I think on our Friday night game we had 19 playing. There's Mr. David in the red shirt, famous wargamer from I think it's South Carolina or North Carolina. There's Walt Leach and also Charlie from Mark's Wargame room. Now, you'll notice the Confederate line as they advance across. They're moving 12 inches with a D6 bonus, and it takes quite a long time to get across this table. They do open up with 3 rounds of artillery fire. And there's the famous Walt Leach himself. Not all that happy that I'm videoing him. Well, here we are at the Cadore Farm, and you'll see there's a little vidette there that Jim Perky has built, and the Emmitsburg Pike. Berdan sharpshooters are advancing through the cornfield, and they're slowly being pushed back by the Confederate tide of gray and butternut. Quite impressive. And what's nice is all these wargamers get along so well with no issues, and you have to say the rules are just 1.5 pages long in a 14 font, and everyone after the first couple turns are playing without any help from the game masters at all, and it just moves so quickly. Now here we are over at Steve and Shelby's gigantic game of the Mummy. In the Mummy game, there's Shelby waving. And the Mummy game, she's the game master for this. And it's just like the movie. You have Brandon Fraser down there with the French Foreign Legion air troops. We got the zombie skeleton creatures on the right flank. And in front, you have the Arabic tribes. And there's also some added creatures such as killer scorpions and other weird creatures like that hand coming up from the Mummy. And you have to have seen the Mummy movie to probably appreciate this war game, but it's extremely cool. They're using 54mm plastic figures from Armies in Plastic, and I'm not sure where they got their skeletons, but I think they're from maybe Amazon. And of course, there is the Mummy himself and the sarcophagus, and the Mummy's, I guess it's the treasure trove right there. Oh my gosh, now we're back at the Battle of Bunker Hill. You'll notice that everything is on fire at Bunker Hill. And now we're looking at a Japanese Pacific game. This is by Robert from Ohio. And he's doing stuff in 1/72 plastic. There's his Stuart tanks going into the jungle. And he's using a square system. Now here's a panoramic view of how busy this one hall is. You see the Hawks banner in the background, the Pickett's charge game, and just so busy here. And then we have another game, Germantown, I believe this was. Now I went up to the next level here, and it is just as busy as the second floor. And it was very difficult to get any real video here, but I did what I could do. But there was a stunning Arnhem game, and I had to try to get that in. And this was in 15mm. And then Battle of Germantown. And then I went back to check on how Gettysburg was going. And as you can see, the Berdan sharpshooters were being driven back. This game does last 4 to 5 hours. So, and there's Dave himself with Goober the Traveling Bear. And he is a legend in the wargaming world. Now, I stopped off at this third floor for the Zulu game. Zulu Dawn in 15mm, I believe. And this is a great looking game. He had Isan Luana carved perfectly. His Zulus look fantastic. And I believe the game master here was named Mr. Walt. And my video doesn't give this justice for how cool it looked. And his impies looked astounding. And they are all ready and poised to say a thru and charge into the British redcoats. Now, I don't know how this game would turn out, but most everything when it comes to the Battle of Isan Luana, the British very rarely ever win unless they get reinforcements and have unlimited ammunition. And there you see Mr. Walt is doing the final touches on this game beforehand. I could not interview him due to the amount of noise that was in the hall here. You're talking a couple hundred people rolling dice and talking. So there's Mr. Walt there, and he was very kind to have me just mention that he really enjoys miniature wargaming in the Anglo-Zulu wartime period. Well, once I got done with this table, we moved on to the other side. And I tried to get some close-ups here. We got the Natal Native contingent and the British camp. And his camp really looked really spiffy. And so what is really neat is he had a miniaturized version of the movie poster of Zulu Dawn, the movie, there as his placard. Now, Goober the Traveling Bear found a 54mm Command in Colors Revolutionary War game. The fellows here that are running this, they were really, really nice and beautiful 54mm Rev War figures. And this is the Battle of Germantown. And it was really impressive of how he had his plastic figures. Everyone's waving. And of course, once again, we could not interview them due to the fact of the noise in the hall. I believe these were both plastic and metal. I believe the dragoons were metal, if I remember correctly. Many of the figures were armies in plastic and BMC. And very, very neat how they had this table set up. Well, that's it for now. Thank you. Stay safe, be kind, and be courteous.